What a waste. What a waste of space.
And then yesterday,
waste of time.
It's funny because they're on a 5-14 stretch in their last 19 games, yet the story of the day is Jorge Lopez, reliever, throws his mitt into the crowd. Mm-hmm. He gets DFA'd, whole bunch of nonsense going on in the locker room after the game. You were tweeting actively. I always laugh when you tweet.
Do you?
Because I just hear the pain in your voice.
Yeah, I mean...
What are you going to do, Mendoza?
Yeah, Mendoza's not going to do anything. Nobody has any answers, and nobody really... The funny thing is, like, Jorge Lopez, right, he throws his glove up into the stands. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, it's really not that big a deal. Like, you know...
Would you have DFA'd him?
I had heard that the reason that he got DFA'd was because he immediately met, supposedly, that's the rumor, the report, with either Stearns or Mendoza or whoever.
Who reported that?
It's out there. Somebody. I don't remember who. I didn't log my fucking bibliographic sources in my head when I was reading about it. So somebody said that he met with Brass, and then when he was talking with reporters, he said, well, I don't know what's going to happen because I didn't meet with them yet. So immediately, apparently, when they heard that, they were like, okay, this guy's done. You know what I mean? Like, if he's going to lie, essentially, to the media about whatever is or isn't going on behind closed doors, then we got to let him go. Yeah, so I'm not losing any sleep over the fact that he got canned.
Absolutely not, but it's more so just the bigger story is how the Mets are just always a clown. It's just always a circus. No matter what year, no matter what day, no matter what month, no matter what regime, no matter who's playing, who's coaching, who's managing, who the GM is, it's always a soap opera.
Yeah.
I mean, throwing your mitt into the stands and then a big press conference after a player-only meeting, and then a guy is supposedly misquoted, then gets DFA'd, would literally only happen to the New York Mets. There's not another team that would happen to.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there's some aspects of this that's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Like, this team is bad at baseball, but the reason they're bad at baseball is because of their big guys not being good, right? Like Edwin Diaz blowing 5 saves.
We could go. So
Francisco Lindor batting 200. Alonso not being good. Whatever.
That stuff, I want to stick with Lopez.
But that's fine. I'm just saying that's the reason they stink.
Yeah.
So Jorge Lopez giving up a home run to Shohei Ohtani, there's nothing significant about that.
Was that just a...
I don't know. The self-fulfilling prophecy aspect of it is the media landscape. Right, it's very predictable.
To piss me off.
Very predictable. They like to have their narratives that are set up ahead of time. So everybody knows the big bad Yankees, the greatest thing since sliced bread, and all everybody wants to do is get down on their knees and celebrate the Yankees.
Like Keith McPherson.
Celebrate the Yankees. Oh, what an amazing, amazing entity! Just an amazing organization. Everything about them so great. So that's what they do on the one side, and then the other side, they need the yin and the yang. So they say everything about the Mets is just god awful, the worst thing ever, hell on earth.
But is it not true?
To a certain extent it is. But why is it? Why?
Why is what?
What's the reason for the Mets being so bad? Why are they 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 games under 500?
I mean, I have different philosophies of you. I think Cohen's a clown. I think it starts at the top.
So it's Steve Cohen.
Just a bunch of clueless human beings.
He decided to have a high payroll, and that's the reason they're losing?
The reason that they just stink. Every single player that he signs sucks.
Because he paid the money to do it.
Yeah.
Is his money somehow different than your money? He has more of it, but how is it different?
What are you even trying to tell me right now? The guy spent more money than any other owner in the history of baseball. How is it his fault?
How is it his fault?
How is it Steve Cohen's fault that the Mets stink?
Yeah. Oh, you think Steve Cohen's like, please today, Lindor, Francisco, why don't you go 1 for 5 with a single in the 7th inning that means nothing?
Steve Cohen spent more money than any other owner in the history of baseball.
Right, and that's what you're holding against him. That's what you're holding against him.
They're the worst team in the MLB.
And you're holding it against him that he spent money for. He actually spent money.
They're the worst team in the MLB.
Yeah, I would say they are.
And they spent the most money out of any team.
And that's his fault. That's his fault.
Whose fault? What do you mean? Yes, his fault. He spent all this money on bad players that underperform and they suck. His manager sucks. His players suck.
He spent the money
coaches suck.
He spent the money on Pete Alonso.
What? They haven't
signed
Pete Alonso.
Okay, who's the most important hitter in their lineup?
Every single penny that he spent. Every single penny that he spent has been bad. Scherzer, Verlander, Lindor, McNeil, Nimmo. He made the trade with the Vogelbach trade that we were talking about the other day. What a disgrace that trade was.
That was Billy Epler.
What are you talking about? Ruff.
What are you talking about? He's not the GM.
He's
not the guy making the decisions.
On what goes on. It starts at the top, James. Right. In case you're unfamiliar with how life works, it starts at the top. It starts all the way at the top.
You're unfamiliar with the way life works. But can we also just say...
Because you still have this false hope that he's going to turn it around. And it's pathetic.
I'm not sure if I do have that hope.
You said, well, on Tuesday you gave it a 7.5 of 10. I asked you, scale 1 to 10. Go back and play it, too.
Okay.
And you said, I got a 7. Yeah,
Was that before or after
I really trust Steve Cohen, man. He spends a lot of money on like the Wilpons. I really trust him. And
the
now you don't trust him 2 days
The Wilpons did spend a decent amount of money.
And 2 days ago, and 2 days later,
I think that there's a main difference between the Wilpons and what Cohen is willing to do.
I don't really want to get into this right now.
What
I really
do you
don't
want to get into? This is the Mike DiDino show. I'm just going to sit here